The auditorium was packed with dignitaries, students, and teachers. Although there were hundreds of seats in the auditorium, which was by far the biggest room on the whole campus, they didn't seem enough. Everyone was running around trying to get the best possible seats. For science lovers, this was probably the most important event of the year. Worried about losing their seats, Kathy held onto Jacob's hand and rushed to the seats she had reserved. She found the seats according to the numbers on her tickets and walked in, grabbing Jacob's hand even harder, and then sat down as she sighed in relief. This lecture was a big deal for her for multiple reasons. As she sat down, she realized how tightly she had been holding onto Jacob's hand the entire time. Her face turned red instantly, and she let go of it hastily. As soon as her hand was free, she felt her palms were starting to become all sweaty as she was getting nervous and excited at the same time. Her heart was pounding not only due to the presence of the renowned scientists, but also because of Jacob sitting right next to her. As soon as Dr. Walter Brown appeared at the podium, the noise and the excitement of the crowd died down. "Damn it, I forgot to get water," Kathy said suddenly. "I'll go get it." Jacob started to get up immediately. "Forget it." Kathy grabbed his arm and stopped him hastily. "The lecture is going to start soon." Kathy blushed and quickly retracted her hand. "Why do I keep touching him so much? I need to stop getting so excited," Kathy thought, while her face was still red. "Okay." Jacob sat back down without noticing the look on Kathy's face. The two front rows were for the officials of the city and the university, the senior professors, and the scientists who had come from all over that state to listen to the brilliant couple speak. A lot of the medical students from various universities had also gotten special tickets for this evening and were sitting in the rows located right behind the professors. The seats which were the furthest from the podium were left for the undergraduates of the host university. However, as Kathy had told Jacob earlier, there were only a limited number of tickets available. She tried hard, but only got 2 tickets through the student council. Other students who didn't get seats had to stand throughout the whole lecture. The seats Kathy reserved were in a pretty good spot. They were in the front row of the third section, which enabled them to see Dr. Walter and his wife clearly on the podium. The entire auditorium was packed. Even the hallways were full of students. Many of them were standing on tiptoes, worrying that they wouldn't be able to catch a glimpse of the famous scientists. This lecture was clearly a rare and grand occasion at the university. "It is indeed a lovely day with the presence of our esteemed guests today. It is our great honor to have a world-famous couple of the scientific community, Dr. Walter Brown and Dr. Mila Brown, give us a lecture on their latest research. Dr. Walter and Dr. Mila are from the American Academy of Sciences and the American Academy of Engineering, respectively." The principal of the university commenced the program. "They have come here to give this lecture directly after landing from their trip to Europe, and we are delighted to host them at our university. Dr. Walter has just won the most prestigious award in the biomedical scientific community, the Gairdner Award. Dr. Mila's recent climate research has earned her the Graf Award." The principal introduced them with the utmost enthusiasm. Kathy, who sat beside Jacob, was holding her head up and was listening with pride, as if it was her, instead of Walter and Mila, who had won the awards. The look on her face switched from excitement to discontent when she turned around and saw how unbothered Jacob was. She nudged Jacob hard with her elbow and whispered, "Did you hear that? How incredible are they? They just won 2 prestigious prizes." "They're just prizes. What's so special about them?" Jacob asked calmly. "You are impossible." Kathy frowned at him. But it didn't seem to affect him much, so she stopped banging her head against the wall and focused on the event. As soon as the principal finished his speech, roaring applause resonated in the hall. The applause was very enthusiastic and prolonged. It wasn't because the principal's speech was excellent. Instead, the arrival of the 2 world-famous scientists after winning the awards indeed drove up the excitement. Everyone in that hall was a science enthusiast, except Jacob, of course. After the principal walked down from the podium, Dr. Walter Brown, who was like a celebrity in this crowd, walked up to the podium. He had a commanding presence and looked very young for his age. Kathy's eyes radiated instantly. She was a crazy fan of Walter. Walter held the microphone, cleared his throat, and smiled. The principal was exaggerating. As a matter of fact, we still have a long way ahead of us on the road of science. The development of science in America has a foundation of contributions from generations, which can't be simply measured by trophies and awards. The main purpose of our trip to Europe wasn't to accept the awards. It was about connecting with professionals and scientists from all over the world. This university is the first place we have come to give this lecture because I graduated from this college, and so I have a deep respect for this place. His voice was plump and charming. Kathy was listening carefully, with her neck turned to the side. It looked as if she was listening to her hero or her middle school crush.
Walter is so attractive. He is so clever and charming. If my future husband could ever be like that.
Behind Jacob, there were a few girls making comments in a dreamy voice. Is he that good looking? Jacob was speechless. He turned around to look at Kathy. Her eyes were shining, her hands were cupping her jaw, her mouth was slightly open, and her expression showed how engrossed she was. On the podium, as soon as he finished his polite greeting, Walter started talking about his recent scientific research, which was what he won the award for. The professors and medical students in the front rows were listening carefully as if it was the most important lecture of the year, and they took notes diligently. Some were so immersed in the lecture that they nodded along and then lowered their heads to take notes, as if they had figured something out. It looked no less than a classroom, if only the classroom was filled with toppers. The undergraduates in the back were listening carefully and quietly without making any noise, and tried to comprehend what Dr. Walter was talking about. However, his lecture didn't dive into deep scientific details, as he was trying to keep it simple for everyone present in the hall. Even undergraduates who weren't majoring in biology could understand most of his research. It was just the details that they didn't fully grasp. The primary purpose of holding a scientific lecture at this university was to create enthusiasm about science and keep the students abreast about the latest discoveries. It was also held to introduce the undergraduates to an intense scientific research environment and to allow them to experience a higher level of academic knowledge. But another agenda was also to attract the attention of the media and scientific community and to promote the university's image. Dr. Walter spoke eloquently during the lecture. Once in a while, he would use gestures to make his point. Many old scientists showed him their admiration because of his clear statements and logical thinking. An hour passed by quickly. When Dr. Walter finished his lecture, all the people in the hall were still enjoying his charm and enjoyed hearing about his discovery and were longing for more. The speech had the same effect on everybody, be it the officials of the city or the university, professors or students. A loud applause resounded through the lecture hall like crashing waves against the shore as soon as the crowd realized that the lecture was over. The applause lasted at least 5 minutes. Jacob also joined the crowd and applauded. Kathy thought that Jacob was finally influenced as she nudged his arm with her own proudly and said,
"See, that's the power of science."
Afterward, she mused.
He is indeed a great scientist. He can explain the most advanced concepts in such a simple way, and his communication skills are also incredible.
Jacob looked at her helplessly. He figured that Kathy had idolized Walter to a great degree, as she was so close to having stars spinning in a circle in her eyes.
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.